Yeehaw, let's get started. Hello fellow garden gnomes, it's a new year and a new setup. You might notice that I'm well lit considering I'm in my basement and I have just a little bit of light coming through the window in the background there. That's because I have a new light. It's gonna take some getting used to, so I'm sorry if I squint a little bit because I've angled it a bit to the side, mostly so it won't reflect my glasses, but it's still right there. But I'm really excited about this because it will allow me to shoot down here, which I think is kind of nice because I have my plants in the background. And so let me know in the comments below what you think of this new setup. Now it is January, so you might be a little curious about the title, especially since I am in Canada, so my garden season won't be happening for probably another 3.5 to 4 months. But I am a gardening fanatic, and so I want to take as much time as possible to plan and to make sure I've done as much prep as I can to have the best garden that I can have. So today I thought I'd talk a bit about sorting seeds and then at the same time sort my seeds. If this is your first year gardening, then this might not be totally relevant right now, but hopefully you'll stick around and sort of absorb some of the information so that in future years this will help you prepare for a future garden. Here is my container of old seed packets. As you can see, it's quite disorganized. So I need to go through it, sort out what I want for this year, what I'm gonna just kind of throw out because I think it's too old, and also figure out what I might need more of. Now, if it's really important to you that as many seeds germinate as possible, then what you'll want to check out is some tables on seed viability or lifespan, and that's because different vegetable seeds last different amounts of time sort of when in the packet. So for instance, if I bought some seeds last year and I didn't use all those seeds, but I just kind of put the seed packet away in a dark place, it might be totally good this year and I could plant the seeds and they germinate just fine. But then maybe those same seeds, if I still didn't use them all this year, and I put the seed packet away again for next year and try them next year, maybe they suddenly wouldn't germinate. Personally, I'm not too concerned just because I'm going to be planting so many seeds early. If some of them don't germinate, then that's fine because I'll have plenty enough plants that I'll just have more of one crop. So if you're interested in the lifespans of seeds, just do a Google search for seed lifespan tables and you'll find something. So when I start looking through my bin, right away I have a packet that if you saw my video on dwarf fruit seeds, you might recognize. I was super excited about it, and unfortunately most of the seeds, which I ended up putting in the fridge or freezer as the instructions told me to do because they needed to be winterized, once I planted them, none of them came up. So I don't know if that was an error on my part or just the seeds weren't that good because they came from eBay. I do have a couple of these seeds that weren't seeds that needed to be winterized, and I had sort of given up on them because the other ones had discouraged me, but I have some dragon fruit seeds, some prickly pear seeds, some hardy fig seeds, and some longan seeds. I think I definitely am interested in trying these, especially the fig. I mean, I already have one dragon fruit cactus that I had picked up at a exotic plant shop in Montreal, and then I also have some prickly pear cactus outside actually that I had picked up from someone in Ottawa who had listed it on Kijiji. Here I have a bag of different old seeds. Let's see, I've got yellow bush bean, New England pie pumpkin, Detroit dark red beets, baby corn, scarlet globe radish, lemon catnip, Atlantic giant pumpkin, fennel. Oh, echinacea as well. Bronze fennel is the leafy fennel. It doesn't have a bulb, so you don't really eat it. You tend to use it more in cooking. You might wait for the seeds and use those seeds in cooking. I always enjoyed when I went out to Indian restaurants, when they would have, after the meal, they would give you this like mixture of kind of fennel seeds and like these little candies. The giant pumpkin and the New England pumpkin, I'm definitely going to plant inside. Whether or not they end up going outside, I'll play it by ear, because in my experience, pumpkins haven't tended to do that well, although I would think that the New England pie pumpkin would probably do better than the gigantic pumpkin. Gigantic pumpkins just need such a long season to get large. So I'm going to plant those inside, and then once I see, if any of them have germinated, because they're old seeds, so I don't know. But if they do, then I'll check out where I might be able to put them. I might be able to even put them at the base of my trellis, which would be good, because then I can save on a lot of space. Now, after this, I'm definitely going to have to go through and do some research on planting times, so that I can make a schedule. I know that for sure mid-February, which is about a month from now, I'm going to be planting onions and peppers. So I'll want to have another schedule for all the weeks proceeding that. Whether I plant the yellow bush beans will also kind of come up to what I feel like once I've seen what plants I have, because I tend to find that bush beans isn't really good use of space. Not when I can instead grow pole beans, which will go up the trellis and will give me a lot more food for a limited amount of square footage. I don't remember when I bought these, but these are hyacinth beans, which is a pole bean, and it comes out of Asia, but I'm definitely interested in trying that. Here I have some marigolds. I don't typically plant a ton of flowers, but there are a couple flowers that are good for the vegetable garden because they attract bees, butterflies, maybe they deter some pests because of the strong smell. This is a carrot packet, which is pretty much empty, so I'm just going to throw that out. Another bunch of beets, this time a different variety. Blacktail mountain watermelon, which is a short season watermelon, which is especially good for more northern regions because they don't get as big as regular watermelon, and so they need less time to grow. So there's a whole crap load of stuff here. So there's some ground cherry seeds here, and I tried ground cherries for quite a few years. Unfortunately, I just found I never got any ground cherries because the way that they grow, they have a little husk around them, and the way that you know that they're ripe is when the husk turns brown or they fall to the ground. The problem is, whenever I had these plants, they would fall to the ground and then the squirrels would immediately get them. So it was kind of like either they weren't ripe or the squirrels had eaten them. So I'm kind of gonna put those aside. Here's another cherry tomato variety called Yellow Perfection that I'm actually gonna put aside because I just didn't like them. I mean, other people might, but I just didn't really like them, so I'd rather devote my valuable garden space to things that I like. Now with the seeds that I'm putting aside in my don't want pile, I'm thinking I might check out whether the local seed library, which I'm a part of, would be interested in taking them. It's possible that they might be too old, I'm not sure, but that strikes me as a good way to kind of pass on some of the seeds that maybe you didn't take a liking to just in case there's other people who will take a liking to them. As I'm going through, I'm finding a couple duplicates, and so I'll probably go through and pair off the duplicates. Because these seeds are so old, I'd rather get rid of them as soon as possible. Going through just a bunch of older seed packets has made me realize that I've just got so many seeds, that whereas I had been planning on buying a few extra seeds, I'm thinking now that I don't really need that. I might still buy a couple seeds just because there's a couple varieties I want to try, a couple vegetables that I don't have seeds for. So I just resorted my seed package from last year as basically my 2016 seeds, and then I took all the older seeds. So I took all my older seed packets that I was saving, I put them in alphabetical order by vegetable, and then within each sort of vegetable section there's also the different varieties within that vegetable section, and I just kind of put them in order back in this plastic bag. They're just a little bit more organized, and I'm gonna put that in front of my 2016 seeds. And I think my whole plan with these seeds is to use them up as much as possible so that I can start getting to newer seeds again. But because I don't want to have to rely too much on older seeds being able to germinate, I do think what I'll do is I'll plant the seeds that I don't already have newer versions of, and then with the seeds that I do have newer seeds for, I'll plant probably like half and half or something, so that, you know, if the old ones don't germinate, then the new ones will, and if they do germinate, then I'll just have a lot of different varieties and different plants. I then have my empty packets that I'm just gonna throw in the garbage. I have 2 packets that I'm going to see if the seed library wants to take, and then I've got all my flowers, which I'll just put inside of my bin, because some of the flowers, well, most of them are my mom's, and then some of them I will plant as well, just to have some biodiversity in my garden and to be able to attract pollinators. So whether you're going to start in mid-February like me, or whether you're going to wait till mid-April to mid-May like a normal person, I hope your garden season goes well, and look forward to more videos on how to prep. I'll have some both for people who have gardened before and people who are starting a whole new garden this year. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you're interested in seeing more, please hit subscribe so you'll be notified when I have new videos up. Happy gardening!